All right, guys. Newsflash. I record these usually after we've recorded the actual bulk of the episode. So, but this time we're running low on time, so I did it beforehand. I have no idea what this podcast is going to be about, but you know what I do know? Audible. Head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled. Get that free 30-day trial and a free audiobook. They've got over 180,000 titles to choose from for any platform that you would like to listen to your audiobooks on. They've got you covered. Go pick something out. It's going to be the best choice that you can make on a Wednesday, beside for listening to Jumbled. Speaking of, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Jumbled, your favorite podcast about nothing. I'm Zach.
And I'm the king of the world, Zach.
You're the king of the world?
King of the ping pong world. Joe has not responded, and it has been 2 weeks since my last call out. So he's officially Donezo, Washington.
Dude. I think we just figured out the name of this episode before
the first 30 seconds.
Well, we might as well just sign off, dude. The 1 minute podcast. Oh my god.
Yeah, next level, baby.
No, yeah,
One-liners all day.
So Joe is henceforth known as Donezo Washington.
Yep, forever.
Yeah. He's he got called out, he didn't respond, and there's a
I think I gave him a fair 2 weeks notice,
There's an acceptable amount of time that you can respond in.
I'm a busy man, and I kept my schedule pretty free and clear for him, and he's just a big soggy flower that's afraid of everything.
Big soggy flower.
I said soggy flower because I know I sent you a Snapchat of my city right now in Snowpocalypse 2018.
I honestly haven't gotten on Snapchat. I haven't even seen the notifications come through for your snap, so I'll have to look it up.
Unbelievable. I am going home right now. I'm done.
Oh, wait, you are home.
Right, so I guess I'll just keep going then.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you're in the middle of a snowpocalypse already?
Yeah, October 2nd, and we got close to 1.5 feet of super dank snow, man. Real wet, real heavy.
Oh, fuck, dude.
There was like 140 accidents in the city today because the snow was so crazy and people weren't expecting it and prepared. And I shoveled, and I get to go and shovel after this episode, which I'm really not excited for.
Yeah, so we'll just record for 8 hours. This will be the 8-hour Jumbled marathon. And you can
perfect.
And you can just sort of,
procrastination.
Exactly. Oh,
I'm good at that,
Yep. I'm looking at your snaps right now. I don't know how long ago you sent me these.
That was approximately 10 a.m.
No, well, there are a bunch of different snaps. There was one where you're squeezing a ball. I don't know how long ago that was.
Oh, that was forever ago. Come on, Zach. You need to
I don't open Snapchat, dude. I could give 2 fucks about Snapchat.
You're missing out on so many good dick pics from me.
It's true. Half of them have been dick pics. Just writing like putting like little googly eyes on your dick and stuff.
That's right.
And I was like, whoa.
I'm a snake.
You're a snake. Oh, dude.
Zach, have you... Go ahead, keep going.
The breakdancing housefly was pretty legit.
Oh, I fucked that housefly right up. And then my dog ate him.
My dog does that sometimes, too. And I'm like, are you eating a goddamn fly? Like, my dog will, catch him out of the air.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I'm not going to lie. I feed my dogs pretty much everything I don't want to keep on my person.
Okay. Well, you got corgis, so they just get cuter.
Yeah, flies, leftover food that I don't want to deal with, boogers, toenails.
Sure,
they've eaten it all.
I'm sorry, I got distracted with this snap. It says, "What's your favorite hike?" And you wrote, Tit-E Mountain.
Yeah, I'm an adult.
Tit-E Mountain, dude.
TIT-E Mountain.
E Mountain. I love that, dude.
Fuck, I think I just
there you
clipped
go.
really hard.
Thank you, Calgary. The 10 inches we got last night wasn't enough. Dude.
Yeah, so Mother Nature gave me an extra 10 right in butthole, real dry.
Fuck, dude. I do not envy your snow situation right now.
I will honestly say, it's fucking miserable, and I hate winter. Yeah. If your country wasn't so fucked up, I would be so interested in moving there again, just to get away from the winter, honestly.
Well, you could move here and then just have an escape plan. Just like,
well, I would never give up my passport,
Well, sure. Know somebody right at the border that's going to be able to sneak you across in case shit gets thick.
That's fair.
I wonder how many people get caught sneaking out of America. That's something Huh?
Yeah, I guess you'd be sneaking. Interesting. So if you got busted and charged, like, hey, you're sneaking into Canada. You're like, no, I'm not sneaking into Canada. I'm sneaking out of America.
And they'd be like,
and there are no laws against that.
They'd be like, welcome.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, seeking asylum or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, man. I like that Donald Trump is draining the swamp.
I saw some... Yeah, he's doing such a great fucking job about that. I don't know how much you're hearing about U.S. stuff right now. But...
All of it. We get all of it.
Okay, so you know all about the Kavanaugh stuff.
Oh, yeah. I also hear all of the conspiracy theories that are saying that he's being set up and that this is just like a big plan by the Democrats to belittle him and to throw Donald Trump out of power. Speaking of our boy DT Jr., apparently the LA Times released some massive article about his tax evasion and fraud from even back when he was a kid, which is could be a really big deal as far as moving towards his impeachment. I'm doubtful, but
that's the thing, though. If he gets impeached, Pence doesn't get impeached, right? So then we got to deal with Mike Pence, and he thinks that, I could be wrong, but I think he believes that homosexuality can be reversed or like changed out of a person.
It can. When you figure out how to change someone's DNA, I don't know. Yep. Like, how the fuck did people think that? I don't get it.
I don't know.
You know, my platform, I've been seriously considering getting into politics. Allie's been trying to convince me for a few years. Yeah. And we had some friends over this past weekend, and we were driving to the mountains, and we were kind of chatting politics. And I'm as I've said before, very libertarian. And I was like, I'm going to run, and my platform is, I want you to be able to sleep with any person that you want to, marry that person, love that person, and I want you to be able to smoke as much weed with that person as you want, and then I want you to be able to defend those rights with whatever guns you want. And everyone in the car was like, hey, that makes sense. I was like, yeah, why can't we just let people be people and fucking, why do we have to be assholes?
I feel like as long as people are being, as far as guns go, as long as people are being responsible, who gives a shit?
For the record, I am supportive of a licensing program. I don't think that anyone should be able to just walk into a store and buy a gun. As much as the Canadian system drives me nuts, I am appreciative of the licensing program that we have to go through. And the stats show that legal firearm owners are 3 times less likely, emphasis on the less likely, to commit crime or violent crime. So it's clearly working. And literally, I get a national background check on my name every single day. That's how our system works. So every day, police shop opens up and they do a criminal background check on everyone who has a firearms license in Canada to see if we did anything wrong the night before.
That's awesome.
I think it's pretty cool. There's a lot of other really, really, really stupid laws around classifications of firearms that I think need to be addressed at some point, and not make laws on guns based on how they look, but how they actually function. But that's a battle we'll never win because media.
Yeah. For sure. I don't know, man. It's all just a big clusterfuck nowadays. I saw something talking about going back to Donald Trump, and I don't want to loiter too much on Donald Trump because fuck him. But I saw a clip earlier today. He was talking to a female journalist that was like getting ready to ask him.
I caught that one, that little quip of you never do think or whatever.
Yeah,
is that one?
Yeah, he's like, he's like, look, she's shocked that I picked her, and she's like, no, I'm not. And he's like, oh, what do you think? Oh, never, you don't think, never, or you never do.
Never do. Yeah, something.
And
along
she's
those
like,
lines.
excuse me, and he's like, go ahead. Just very dismissive, and it's just so like if you didn't already know that Donald Trump's chauvinist, there you go. There's your glaring truth. Right,
and I'm going to go out and say this, not that I'm pro Donald Trump, but I did hear something on CBC News today because I listen to a lot of news radio. That's a Canadian news radio. And it was talking about how a woman reporter, so again, probably part of the problem with Donald Trump because he can't handle speaking to intelligent women. But she asked a question and he didn't answer it. Like, he just refused to answer it and kind of talked over it and went by. And then it was like, the purpose of these press conferences is that we get to ask any question we want, and you're impeding on my First Amendment right. And I was like, why do we always go to the First Amendment right? You're right. You got to ask any question you want. But the First Amendment right doesn't say that person has to respond or answer your question in a way. And I was just like, why do we got to try and blow this up into a bigger deal? Like, he's already an asshole, and yeah, that was a dick move, and he didn't answer your question, but he's probably also tired of answering the same goddamn questions all the time.
I'm sure.
Because he knows he looks ridiculous when he does.
But every president's had to do it, right? Every president's had to do it. And,
but I would be pretty confident in saying he's not the first president ever to just deny or not answer a question in a press conference.
Yeah, but I think it's more so about how you go about that. You can say, like, I've addressed this before. I would not care to address it.
And I agree, but we've already determined he's not a smart man. He doesn't remember.
No, he's not.
Honestly, he probably can't remember what he ate for lunch. That's maybe even stretching it. He probably doesn't remember the last time he blinked. He's just, that guy's memory span is so short.
Yeah, for the record, he ate a taco bowl from Trump Towers for lunch. He always did. Always.
I have no ego. That's why I name all my buildings after me.
That's why I put my name on all of it.
All of it.
But along those lines, and we can jump off of this real quick, but I wanted to get back to Kavanaugh because there is a way that a person in a position of power and leadership should behave.
So I haven't watched any of the recordings of that. I don't even know what it was officially called, but I did see basically the premise of him losing his goddamn mind.
Right, exactly. And he lost his cool, and he started pointing fingers, and for especially somebody who's
innocent. Innocent in quotations, just for our listeners.
In quotes, yeah. Somebody who's trying to get a job in a position where he's supposed to be fair and even-keeled and very, calculated with his answers and and the methods he goes about answering things and thinking about things. He was way off his rocker, just completely off off the charts with how ridiculous it was.
Saw some funny memes around like, oh, Republicans, well, why don't you report this earlier? Also, Republicans, you're reporting sexual assault? You're a liar.
Right, exactly. And that's another talking point. And I don't. Sure, some people might say like, oh, well, why didn't she say something sooner? And everybody's got their own reasons or why they want to say things at certain points. I'm sort of the mindset that she was willing to fall on the blade in order to spare other people from having to.
It shouldn't matter why you waited. That's a personal thing that she had to deal with and find the time, and she found the courage now to do it, and that's what should be applauded in her courage to do so, and not it happened. I like that stuff just drives me nuts. The hypocrisy in America of, oh, well, it was 35 years ago, he was just a boy. Boys will be boys. But all of those young black kids who get shot by police are all actually boys. And it's like, oh, he's a thug. He was this. Yeah, he was only 14, but he was in gangs. It's like, well, boy, where do you draw the line? Boys will be boys. Oh, because you're white and you come from an upper middle class family, so it's okay. Yeah. I don't understand how people don't see that. Agree or not. You should be able to see the hypocrisy in the one-way street that is there, and that should be what should be pissing you off, not necessarily the issue should piss you off, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying even if you're fully supportive Republican, you should be upset that there is that hypocrisy within the party that you choose to associate yourself with, no matter what the subject is. Well,
yeah, and they're blind to that. They have no idea that they have that duality about them,
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I've sort of stopped calling myself anything because I really hate politics.
Yeah, and that's honestly, that's the best thing that can happen out of this shit show is that people stop. Like, identity politics need to die. You need to stop being a Democrat because your parents are always a Democrat. You need to stop being a Republican because your family's always been Republican. And It should be, let's look at policies, let's look at my community and what makes sense for me as a person, and be open-minded to accept that might come from either party, because no party's perfect, don't get me wrong, and each party does have some good ideas. Sometimes it's few and far between, but they are there, and that's how you should be voting, and that's my stance. So we're preparing for a federal election coming up here in about a year, and traditionally I have been a Conservative Party member. I did not vote for the Conservative government last election, and there's a new Conservative leader, which I was excited about, but I don't like who was elected in to lead the Conservative government. Or the party, I should say. They're not in government. And anyway, so they were calling me and basically said, like, for fundraising campaign, we need money, we need to fundraise, blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, cool. They're like, well, you're a party member. And I was like, well, I would say that you loosely, like, I became a party member so I could vote in the leadership election, but I don't like who won, so I don't really associate myself with that party. But that person wouldn't talk about what they want to do. It was, well, we have to stop Justin Trudeau, and he's doing this and he's doing that, and it was just, he's going to ruin this. Don't you agree? We need to stop him. And deep down, I'm like, well, I don't really like him as the prime minister. He was the lesser of three evils at the time, but I don't care about what he's doing in this conversation. Tell me about what you want to do as a party and what you're going to do to this country and fix whatever. Tell me about your policies. Don't just sit here and complain and try and get me fired up. And the person would not acknowledge my question when I tried to talk policy with them. They're just like, oh, okay. Well, Justin Trudeau did this, and would you consider making a gift of this amount? And she just kept going smaller and smaller as I was, like, just to try and get me to make any donation. And I was like, listen, you're not listening to me. Like, pay attention to what I'm saying. Tell me about what your government or what your party wants to do to better this country. Let's have a conversation about that and not just complain about your competition.
Right.
And they wouldn't do it. And I fucking hate that so much.
Yeah, and that's what drives everybody away. You know, it's like it's a double-sided blade, because the government's obviously going to make the rules by which you have to live, under which you have to live.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if you just polarize everything, then you're driving the people away from wanting to care about politics.
Yeah. So then people stop voting, and that's the risk, right? Intelligent people who are frustrated and are trying to find an answer get frustrated because they're dealing with brick walls of stupidity and can't have an intelligent conversation, so they get tired and they don't care anymore. They get disengaged, and then the ridiculous rallied left and right are the ones who go out and vote, and they get to determine the future of your country. And those are typically the most irrational people on both sides. And,
right.
You know, so then you just kind of spiral into more and more, I don't know how to, radical left and radical right.
Right.
If that makes sense. And that's what, and when the majority of the people live kind of somewhere in the middle. But
you know what?
They can't get their voice out.
Yeah, you know what we need? We need somebody like, you know, The Rock's talked about getting into politics. We need somebody like The Rock to be like a voice for libertarians or some other.
Would he run libertarian?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. He'd probably be. He seems like he's probably more of a Democrat, but that's what we need, is there to be some sort of, or some big name person to be like, hey, you don't have to go for Bernie Sanders. You don't have to go for fucking.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if I agree with The Rock actually running. I don't know if he's qualified. Although Donald is probably more qualified than Donald Trump. But you're right. What we need are for people to not pick a firm side and say there are more options, and you need to do your research, and not you need to support Hillary or you need to support Donald Trump or whoever the next candidates are, and say you need to support yourself and do research and realize that there are more options, and that you need to support those options and not try and pick the winning team. And I feel like that's what a lot of politics are happening in the States, and definitely up here. It's not about what's best for the country. It's about being on the winning team. And I hate that team mentality of us versus them. We have to win. It's no, you should be voting for people who are going to make a difference.
Right. And that's the thing too. Like, if you can't really, like you said, you gotta have somebody who's gonna step out and say, hey, look, this is an election year. It's important to vote, but, you know, weigh your options out. Don't blindly go charging in and just
Kanye said to vote, so I got to vote this because I like Kanye.
Don't even get me on Kanye, dude. Did you see him on SNL?
I heard that he got pissed because he wanted to wear a MAGA hat and they wouldn't let him.
Yeah, he's wearing it anyway. Came out wearing it.
Yeah, and you know what? If he chooses to support Donald Trump, whatever, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. I guess Saturday Night Live is a private business, and they have a business to run, and they have control over that. And but also at the same time, you know what you're getting into when you invite Kanye to anything. He's a fucking wild card shit show, and he loves attention, and he's gonna do whatever he can to get more attention. I honestly don't think that Kanye actually cares about Donald Trump. I would be willing to bet he doesn't know fuck all about Donald Trump and what he's doing politically. He just wants the attention. It's the Kanye show, right? And this is a quick and easy way to get a lot of people rallied up, good and bad, talking about him, and it pushes his brand.
Well, and it's a win-win for everybody too, right? Because you get people talking about Saturday Night Live, and I don't know what their ratings have been looking like recently.
I think they've been hurting, actually.
But I haven't watched for a few seasons, so. Yeah. So it could honestly be a calculated move on both sides.
We'll never know.
Sort of like the Eminem and MGK whole thing, I think there are ways for both parties to benefit.
I bet you in 5 years they go on tour together.
Eminem and MGK? Yeah, I bet. I bet. I don't know. I think, Eminem's track record for putting out diss albums or having somebody else put out diss albums has sort of been like, that person has just stopped doing stuff.
That's true.
Because there was the whole beef between Eminem and Ja Rule.
Yeah, Ja Rule's Donezo.
Yeah, and then
he's up there with Joe.
Right. He's
Ja Rule is gonorrhea.
Gonorrhea. Denzel Washington. Yeah, so I think he just like sort of sicked 50 Cent on Ja Rule or whatever, and they had their whole beef or whatever. And then was it Benzino or whatever the dude's name is that Eminem had put out a diss track against him many, many years back. But both of those guys, like Benzino was like, he worked for the Source magazine, and he just kept like shitting on Eminem's name pretty much. Like, and back in the day, the Source magazine was like a
big deal.
You had it, like if you were looking at hip hop, like the Source was gonna be like
where you're
the
at.
source, you know.
Yeah.
So, so he's like on Love and Hip Hop or something, whatever that stupid show is now. So it's sort of one of those situations where, you know, if he's coming out and he's saying, "Hey, I'm putting out this track against you," that's pretty much it. You know, turn your key in because you're getting locked out. So I don't expect anything to come from MGK for a bit, but I don't think he's done because he didn't put out a bad song.
No, I think he'll be okay, and like you said, it could just be drumming up few minutes of fame. He'll fade away, and then he'll come back, and people will be super stoked that he's released something again and whatever.
Yeah.
Speaking of new things, have you seen any trailers for Venom?
I've seen a little bit.
How are you feeling about it?
I don't know. I love Venom. Like, Venom is like one of my all-time favorite, villains.
Anti-hero. He's an
anti-hero. He's an anti-hero. He's one of my all-time favorites. Now, he's not a Deadpool, but he's definitely I think it was always because I like Spider-Man so much. Mm-hmm. And then, it was like the evil spin on Spider-Man. So it always sort of intrigued me. I don't know enough about everything right now to give a judgment call on it. It looks graphically like it's going to be okay, but yeah, I'm sort of worried about storyline. All right, guys, let's take a second to talk about our sponsor, Audible. Head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled and get your free 30-day trial and a free audiobook. Guys, the book that I'm going to recommend for this month is Dad is Fat by Jim Gaffigan. I can relate to the title of this book on a spiritual level because I love ice cream. And I'm a dad. So there you go. Basically, this book just talks about living with 5 children. He and his wife just surviving with 5 children. And that's basically all you're doing when you have 5 kids is you're surviving. And God bless his wife because when he's touring, it's got to be hell on earth. So, just give it a listen, guys. It's Jim Gaffigan. Everybody knows Jim Gaffigan. He's got his own comedic take that he's going to put on this. Just trust me, you're going to love it. So pick that one up. If you don't want to listen to Jim Gaffigan, they got 180,000 other audiobooks that you can choose from. So you're going to find something that you like. Head over, give them a look. Give them just a full look over. You got 30 days. You get to keep your audiobook after the 30 days are up. And yeah, it's an open and closed case, guys. So head over, give it a listen, and that's it. We're going to get back to the podcast. audibletrial.com/jumbled. Again, that's audibletrial.com/jumbled. Hey, Johnny, you got something else to say?
Yeah, I watched a couple breakdowns of it. I don't know when it actually gets released. I'm really excited for it. I love Tom Hardy. I don't know if I like him in that role. Like, I get why they picked him. Yeah. And they wanted to bring a name to it. But I love Venom as well. He's my third favorite anti-hero.
Mm-hmm.
Next to Wolverine, and then Deadpool, and then Venom.
Yeah.
But I saw something on Facebook that was saying that the early screenings of Venom have it being one of the worst Marvel movies ever made, which is saying something because, well, we have the other Spider-Mans, which the third one was real bad that we talked about, which is the last time we saw Venom. And then there's also the first tries at the Incredible Hulk, which were pretty bad.
Yeah, with Norton.
Yeah, I thought Edward Norton did an okay job.
Yeah.
Eric Bana one was not good, but again, at the time, they were trying to figure out what a good comic movie was going to be, right? So
Right.
I can't blame that. It was just at the time when it was being made, but they were really bad. They did not. I would put those on the same level as Green Lantern.
Yeah, but kudos to Marvel for sticking the Incredible Hulk out because, third time was a charm, and the Incredible Hulk is honestly one of my favorites. Like, I mean, everybody's heard the old "Why don't his pants rip off?" and I think they'd get better ratings if his pants ripped off when he turned into the Hulk.
Just a big.
Just angry,
big green donger just waping around.
Yeah. Do you think it turns like a weird brown color though, since it's engorged with?
Well, all of his skin is Zach. Serious question: is your wiener like a dark brown? Because if it is,
no. Well, what I'm saying is when it's engorged, it can turn from just a regular color to like a red or something like that. Not like bright red, but
like a red rocket. Like he's a dog. What's going on here, Zach?
He's not a human at that point.
Do you have some issues with your wiener we need to discuss?
No, I'm just saying slightly different. It would be like a completely different.
You've thought a lot about Hulk's wiener, hey?
It's a mystery. Nobody knows about it.
Well, there was that GIF that was going around when Scarlett Johansson's character Black Widow and the Hulk were having a relationship, and it was she was holding out her palm or whatever to calm him down, and then it was the Hulk cuts to Hulk having this greasy smile, and then you just see her legs up and just this giant green cock just ramming her out.
Oh Jesus, man!
You
what
never
are you
saw
watching?
That?
No. What are you watching, dude?
Oh no, I've been outed.
Now we all know what you're searching for.
Oh man, I love Marvel, and I do love the Hulk. I'm gonna find that GIF that was going around. It was
GIF.
Yeah,
stop
whatever.
it, GIF.
I'm gonna GIF you in the face.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I'll figure it out next time I see you. I'm just going to do weird shit to your face until we find one that fits.
Oh, that's a GIF.
Yep,
okay.
There we go. We GIFed it.
If you find that, feel free to forward it on. I know you will anyway. You're gonna send it to the group chat, and we're all gonna be really confused.
I'm gonna tag it as me, and then I'll write Joe over Black Widow. And then there'll be a ping pong table in the background.
Yep, that's basically how it goes. And then you put what's a famous Denzel Washington clip?
Training Day. I'll put something from Training
Day. This how you gonna do me?
Oh yeah.
You just put that part in there.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever run across this dude on the internet? His name he goes by Shoe Nice.
No idea who you're talking about, bud.
You'll have to look it up. So,
does he like shoes? Nice shoes?
No, I don't know why he calls himself that, but back in the day, when he was an alcoholic, you could say he's an alcoholic, he would get a fifth of whatever, and he'd crack it, and he'd go Shoe Nice, he'd say Shoe Nice, and then he'd slam the entire bottle.
Wow.
As fast as he could.
Oh, I think I've heard of this guy now.
Yeah, and he did that for a long, long time, but he's since like gotten sober, lost a lot of weight, but he still does like really weird things. Like he ate the other day. I saw a video. He ate an entire McDonald's hash brown and the paper.
Delicious.
Like he ate the hash brown.
Why do you have to talk about McDonald's? I'm so hungry.
Dude, me too. And then he crumpled up the paper, and then he ate the paper behind it.
Well, it's full of that delicious grease. You got to get it all.
It's true, dude. I don't know what they... You know what I heard they do with their fries and stuff? Is
what?
They poach it in sugar water, and then they fry them. So that's how you get the sweet and the salty.
Oh, that makes sense. I like them even more now.
Yep.
Oh, McDonald's, really my happy place. I miss you. Oh, God.
You're looking.
What day is it?
You're looking nice and svelte, though, huh? Ooh.
Getting real skinny.
Ooh, you are getting skinny, man.
I'm roughly 206 pounds right now.
Congratulations to you, good sir.
Thank you.
October 2nd. That's what the date is today.
It's Tuesday.
Yep.
Which means I only have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Are you counting down days until you can eat McDonald's? Is that what you're...
I sure am. God, I can't wait for my cheat meal. I'm going to be in Edmonton. It's going to be Saturday night. I'm doing Thanksgiving dinner at Jared's parents' house.
Nice.
And then we're watching McGregor fight. And
you guys still planning on talking about that one?
Yeah, I talked to him about it today. Actually, we're going to try and put something together about doing a post... At least the McGregor Khabib fight, but we might do a post, like a full fight show about at least the main card, not the prelims and stuff. Sure.
Feel free.
We'll see if there's anything big that comes out of it, but we'll do some kind of bit around McGregor Khabib. I haven't looked at the Vegas odds in the last little bit, but I'm feeling real good about McGregor.
Yeah.
The more I think about it. I think he's gonna do it.
I think so?
I think he's gonna do it.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see, huh?
Apparently, he signed a 6-fight deal with the UFC.
Did he really?
Yeah. Hi, Stephanie.
Johnny says hi.
Hi.
She's on the podcast. Congratulations.
Yep. So. You say McGregor signed a 6-fight deal?
Yeah,
okay.
I think what the angle is for the UFC is, they don't want him to go back to boxing.
Oh, that makes sense. They try to rope him in and give him pretty much everything he wants.
He'll finish his career with the UFC. I think he'll fight. He's obviously going to do this fight, and I think he has one more in him. Yeah. And then he'll kind of go down in history. There's conversation that he'll fight the other Diaz brother at 165 and then capture his potential third belt if he wins. So it'd have, three belts from 3 different weight classes, though they're creating a new that catch weight for this fight is the rumor.
Oh yeah.
But it would be a pretty cool super fight. And then I think he's done. I think he does those 2 fights and he wins, and then
if he's smart.
Apparently, the other rumor is that he's bought into the UFC, and his new whiskey company is sponsoring it, and it's being promoted in the next 6 fights.
I believe it.
So the insiders are saying that it's just a ploy. The UFC wants to lock him down, keep the promos, doesn't let him go to another. He also has McGregor promotion, so he was talking about starting his own version of UFC, and so that kind of hamstrings him a bit there. And then, so we'll see. But first, he's got to win this weekend, and I'm feeling pretty good. I'm excited for him.
And the whole point around that is you're going to be eating a whole lot.
I am going to eat my fucking face off. I'm gonna.
Is there a menu already that you know about?
Well, I pretty much get the same thing every time from McDonald's. As far as Thanksgiving goes, it is Canadian Thanksgiving this weekend, so that's why. So I mean, pretty traditional Thanksgiving dinner, and then McDonald's, I get the same thing every time, more or less.
Yeah, we all know about the
Jonny challenge. That's right.
Yeah, we all know about the Jonny challenge. Well, enjoy your weekend, your Thanksgiving weekend, buddy.
Mm-hmm. Can't wait.
Be a good one.
I'm gonna eat so much food.
You have like dreams about it?
I legitimately, Allie gets such a chuckle because I eat so cleanly and I go to the gym every day. I work out at least once a day, sometimes twice. And I, do intermittent fasting and everything. And then my cheat meal comes and I just go to fucking town. And she dies because I can put on like 4 or 5 pounds in one day. And then I just lose it all really quickly. So I'm getting better. My cheat days are slowly becoming cheat meals. I'm being a little bit more reserved about them, which is good. Because I was in the habit of gaining 5 to 6 pounds on the weekend and then losing 6 to 7 pounds throughout the week. So it's really yo-yoing.
Yeah, and you could it's not healthy at a certain point, right?
It's mostly just
down,
bloat and water.
Gotcha.
Water weight. So I've been been at a happy resting weight right now, and then working throughout the week to try and keep getting lower. And I want to be 195. That's my goal right now.
I was about to say, I didn't know if you were still chasing that after we had talked last week about you trying to chase that sub 200 number. And
yeah, I've kind of broken through a plateau again, so I'm feeling a little bit more excited but the potential. So for a while I was kind of resting at 214, and then I would be able to get down to like 209. It was a pretty tough wall for me for a while, and then I'd go back to 214, and then I'd go back down to 209. But now my body's kind of adjusted to resting at 210. So during the week I've got down to 206. And then on the weekend, when I was expecting me to go back to 215, I'd kind of settle around 209, 210. So I've kind of got through another barrier. So I just got to keep going, Keep going. It's coming.
Pushing.
Be patient.
Yeah, you can do it, dude. Have we already talked about? I think we did on a previous episode about the XFL. Did we talk about the XFL?
I think we've talked about it a little bit. I know that it was announced that it's coming back or something, right?
Yeah, I think they're saying 2020 is going to be the first season.
I hope it's just a bunch of juiced out roid monkeys just crunching each other. NFL Blitz. That's what I want.
That's what I was just getting ready to say.
Make NFL Blitz a real life thing, and I'll get into it.
Yeah, like the after the whistle's blown leg drops. That's what I want.
Exactly. And suplexes.
Suplexes, yeah. And then I just want like everybody to blitz. Everybody just coming for the
all day. You should always be blitzing all day.
Yeah, whoever played NFL Blitz and literally didn't take its name into account.
Played pass coverage.
Yeah, they were playing the game wrong.
I like to have a really good secondary, actually.
Yeah. It's like people trying to play Blitz like it's Madden.
Yeah. I might bust out my N64 and play some Blitz. I miss that game.
Oh man, yeah. There's a not an emulator, but they redid the N64 or whatever. It's got all the games like internal now that you can buy.
That's sick.
Yeah, I need to buy that and the Sega Genesis.
I don't really care about those old N64 is probably where I'd draw the line for finding enjoyment out of those video games. I had a Raspberry Pi that has an emulator on it, and some of the Super Nintendo games are kind of cool, but I don't know. I don't really get that much enjoyment out of them, honestly. Maybe Mario is Mario, but it's not really my jam. But N64 that was a big jump to the video game world. Like GoldenEye was a fucking game changer.
Yeah, it's true. And it was like the first controller that had like a legit joystick on it, right?
Yep. So or a thumb joystick, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, you had like Atari and stuff that had a joystick, but
You know what I miss actually from N64? Turok.
Dude, Turok was pretty sick.
The first Turok was so good.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. Turok was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But not the rock version of Turok, but I actually shouldn't talk smack on that because I haven't seen it. So
yeah. I also miss wrestling games.
Oh yeah, like SmackDown and stuff, or Monday Night Raw or whatever.
Yeah, those are pretty fun too. And you get a group of guys together and just button mashing. And
I remember there was one, and I'm not sure if it was WCW. I think it was WCW, but you could exit out of the ring and go into the back. Like you could go like behind the scenes and like fight with them like outside of the.
That's hilarious.
It was awesome, but like I got into those for a little bit, probably a couple different years of WWE or wrestling. I was big into wrestling when I was growing up, as has been discussed on the podcast, both with you and with Joe. Yeah, I had a giant rock cut out in my room that terrified me in the middle of the night for the first month or so that I had it, and
he was protecting you.
He was, and I'd put all my little necklaces around him and stuff like that. And he was nice. He was super cool, and I wasn't. But that's cool. That's cool. And then me and Larry, back before he was Hulk Jr., we would get out on trampoline and be like rock bottom each other and stuff like that on the trampoline and jump off like literally off his house.
Yep.
Like we would back the trampoline up as close as we could to his house, and then we would like do wrestling moves off of the house, which is insanely dangerous. Like you've seen all the videos.
You're fine.
But you've seen all the videos, like people with like the trampoline just rips and they go straight through and they like completely demolish themselves.
What do you think about Bill's Mafia right now, and all the table smashing? Have you been catching on to that the past couple of years?
No,
man, you're not in tune with current. So basically, it's all of Buffalo Bills fans, and they just set up a folding table, and then just jump off of something and try and break the table, and they really just wreck themselves all the time. It's awesome.
I've heard the phrase Bills Mafia.
Yep.
But I hadn't heard the second part of that.
Yeah, that's how it started. It was just Bills fans just wrecking shit, and then it was jumping off of their cars while they're tailgating onto a folding table and just annihilating themselves. I'm gonna start sending you some Bills Mafia shit. It's pretty funny. A true testament to the intellect that resides within your country's walls.
Yeah, well, that's New York. It's a different beast. It's like Texas. There's like Texas, New York, and California, and then the rest of the country is just sort of
what the fuck. I'm going to Texas, actually. I'm excited.
Oh yeah? You gonna get a belt buckle?
Maybe. I'm going in the spring. It's for a conference, which I was really stoked on, because typically if Al goes somewhere or I go somewhere, we try and make it so that we have the weekend together there. Mm-hmm. Except this conference starts on Friday and ends on Monday or Tuesday.
That's weird.
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck is this conference bullshit?
Where is it?
San Antonio.
Oh, San Antone.
Yeah.
Good old San Antone, dude.
There's some shit I want to do out there. And then I might see if I can sneak in a little hunting and see what kind of vacation time I have left.
You could just hunt a bunch of
hogs. I want to do some hog hunting.
Hey man, don't talk about the Texans like that, all right, dude? Like they have you gotta have a little bit of respect for them, dude. Don't call them hogs.
I love Texas. I think if I was to live in the U.S., I would pick Texas.
Yeah, there's legitimately a good argument for Texas to split off and form their own country, because they have enough armed people to form a militia. They've got crops. They've got like animals.
Oil.
They've got oil. They've got everything. They've got a water source nearby. Like
they could do it.
They could do it if they wanted to. Honestly.
Yeah, I know everyone jokes about that, and that's the same thing with Alberta. There's always this extreme separatist mentality of fuck you because the federal government doesn't like Alberta and we always get screwed over. And then it's like, fine, we're just going to leave.
You're the Browns of Canada?
We are the Texas of Canada, actually. We support, because we have a lot of energy resources, and we do we support a lot of the federal budget, and there's equalization payments for all the other provinces who don't have the same resources. But then they just fuck us over. So there's a growing group of people who are like, you know what? I don't need this shit. Let's just leave.
Yeah. Just get out.
Mm-hmm.
GTFO.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Well, what would would you guys just be the country Alberta?
Well, maybe. Why not? Possibly.
The Republic of Alberta.
I'm not really in support of it, though I'm in support of the reasoning why people want to do it, because it is kind of ridiculous. But we don't have to get into that right now. We had enough of this politic podcast. On this week's episode of Cooking with Jumbled, Zach, why don't I share with you the delicious meal I just ate while you were waiting?
Oh, please. My mouth's already watering.
All right. Well, keep it watering because you're going to be disappointed. I had a breadless tuna melt,
my God!
Which is basically I took a can of tuna and about a quarter of an onion and 3 pickles and some mayonnaise and some hot sauce and a stick of celery and a little pinch of shredded cheese, and I mashed that up and then I shoved it in my face hole and then I came down to record. Weight loss, baby. It's great.
The look on your face after you explained all of that was like, I'm trying to make this. I'm really trying to make this feel like it's better than what it is.
Well, part of it is we didn't take anything out for dinner, and then we haven't gone grocery shopping, and I really wanted to order food, but I didn't want to eat bad, so I'm a king scavenger, so I just kind of threw some shit together, and now I think once we're done recording, because we're getting close to that time, I'm gonna get some celery sticks. I'm gonna put some smoked oysters on them.
Didn't you have a story about smoked oysters? Was that you? No, that was somebody else. I think.
No, I don't think so. I love smoked oysters, though. I used to think they were horrific. My mom ate them all the time. And now my tastes have matured, and I'm all about them smoked oysters.
I know who it was. It wasn't you. It wasn't somebody we both even know as friends. It was another Canadian, Will Sasso. He is a comedian, whatever. But on another podcast, he talked about eating smoked oysters. And getting drunk and then eating smoked oysters and then throwing up the next day.
Oh my God, that would be horrific.
And then but he hadn't done any grocery shopping, so the next day he got up and he ate more smoked oysters without knowing that he had eaten them the previous night, and then he threw up again.
Oh
God, this is like
God.
And number one, oysters in the first place shouldn't be ingested. That's my rule.
Really?
Yep. Number 2, why we need to smoke them. You know what I'm saying? What are you just like?
Smoking everything is the right way to go.
Was it just like hot snot, hot boogers? What are we eating?
So that's how I refer to raw oysters.
Okay.
I call them sneezes. And Allie loves them, and to me, I just think they're disgusting. But when you smoke them, they are pretty delicious, especially with a little bacon or a little cheese.
Everything's better with bacon and or cheese, so I will agree with that.
100%. Bacon is the way to go. God damn it, Zach. Now you're making me so hungry. Okay, we need to wrap this up. I need to get my snack on.
All right, guys. If you want to check us out on social media. Just search for Jumbled Podcast. You want to shoot us an email, jumbledpodcast@gmail.com or johnny.jumbled@gmail.com.
Yep, keep sending me all those weird pictures you guys are taking of Zach through his windows. I'm building a collage.
Oh, wow. You guys are messed up.
You pick your nose a lot and your butt, and then you eat it in that order.
Shh. You're not supposed to say anything, dude. Want to give a big ol' thanks to our sponsor, Audible. Again, head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled for your free 30-day trial and free audiobook. If you want to be a patron to the podcast, head over to patreon.com/jumbled. And wherever you're listening to us is just fine. But if you want to go somewhere else, just go to whatever other hosting platform or podcast platform, and we are on it. And if we're not, let us know. We'll get on it.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Unless it's SoundCloud, we're not going back.
We're not going back to SoundCloud. And speaking of SoundCloud, I uploaded a little 1-minute thing to SoundCloud. So if you're looking for a little extra content that just basically says, hey, we're not here anymore.
Don't listen to us.
Yeah. If you're looking for just that extra minute for no good reason, it's over there on SoundCloud.
And the number one downloaded episode for Jumbled is
the one that we spent literally no time on.
Just rambling about not listening to SoundCloud anymore.
Basically. But that's gonna do it, guys. We hope you guys enjoyed this one. Johnny, it was good to see you, bud. And next time, don't wear a shirt.
Titties for everyone.
Woo! Hashtag free the nipple.
Free the nipple.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys next week for another episode of Jumbled, your favorite podcast.
About
Donezo, Washington.
Donezo, Washington.